Hello, I am in Itaewon, Seoul. Itaewon is one of the famous tourist destinations in Seoul. This is the central intersection of Itaewon. There is a subway station and behind me is the Hamilton Hotel. Itaewon is the area with the largest number of foreigners living in Seoul. Itaewon Street is divided into north and south based on the intersection we just saw. The north is called Baktaewon and the south is called Namtaewon. The direction I'm walking now is Namtaewon. This place is densely packed with unique concept cafes and restaurants. You can taste cuisines from various countries. Itaewon is different from other hot places in Korea in that it has a lot of foreign food. The reason is that many foreigners from other countries live here. After the Pacific War, Japan lost the war and Korea gained independence from Japan. Then, the United States, which won the war, established a U.S. military base in this area to check the Soviet Union. Koreans opened stores here, targeting Americans as their customers. They sold food and clothing that Americans were familiar with, and Koreans who were good at English opened stores here. Itaewon was a place where you could easily see U.S. soldiers. Their families who were brought with them also lived here. Since there are many Koreans who are good at English, people from other countries naturally flock here. If you are good at English, you can live here without any language difficulties compared to other areas of Seoul. The U.S. military base was here until 2020. It has now been moved to another area. The U.S. military has disappeared from this neighborhood, but many foreigners still live here. To put it simply, 1 in 4 people is a foreigner. That's why the streetscape has a very different atmosphere from other streets in Korea. To Koreans, this place feels more like a foreign country than a Korean place. Itaewon is famous for its many restaurants run by foreign locals. It is a place where you can eat food from a variety of countries. In particular, there are many restaurants where you can taste the local recipes of each country. The taste may be off-putting because it is not localized to suit the Korean palate, but people who want to experience the food culture of that country visit this place. The street I am walking on now is called Quy Nhon Street. It was named to commemorate the 20th anniversary of exchanges with Vietnam. It was named after a region in Vietnam. There are many Vietnamese dishes, and it is a street with mostly Southeast Asian food. Some people are disappointed when they first come here. It is because it is a street that does not feel special, unlike what they expected. However, it may seem like an ordinary street, but it is fun to find restaurants hidden between the narrow alleys on the left and right. Let's go into this narrow alley. You can see hidden stores like this. There are a lot of alleys like this in Itaewon. Go back up the stairs and come to the main intersection that we saw at the starting point earlier. This time, let's go to Baktaewon, north of Itaewon. The northern side of Itaewon Street, Baktaewon, has a completely different atmosphere from Namtaewon. It's a place where you can experience Korea's nightlife. At 1 a.m., men and women come here to find partners. There are so many bars. There are so many men who approach women to seduce them. I visited around 7 p.m., so there were hardly any people here. Around 10 p.m., there are so many people that it's hard to walk. If you're curious, you can refer to the video of Itaewon that I visited before. I don't know if it's the same in other countries, but in Korea, because the public safety is relatively good, it's common for people in their 20s to drink and party all night long. There are also women who play here from night to morning without their parents knowing. They get scolded because it's dangerous for women to walk around at night, but there are a lot of them. They just want to play until the sun rises. Most people who come here play all night and take public transportation home in the morning. I used to play like that too, but now it's hard for me to do that. For your information, there are buses in Seoul that run even at dawn. If you live in Seoul, you can take the early morning bus and go home. However, many people who visit Itaewon come from the suburbs of Seoul, so this street is almost always packed with people until the sun rises. If you look to the right, there is a bar called Waikiki. It is a very famous bar in Itaewon. It is a place where men and women find each other's partners and have fun. I don't know when it became famous, but I always see people lining up. We've arrived at the Hamilton Hotel. I'm currently behind the Hamilton Hotel building. It's behind the hotel building that we saw at the intersection where we started. The hotel owner here must be really nice. It's located right in the middle of Seoul's famous tourist attractions. At one point, sales dropped sharply due to COVID-19 in 2020, but Itaewon was the place that recovered the fastest. That must mean it's a famous tourist attraction. This concludes the Buktaewon section north of Itaewon Street. Let's go back and go to the intersection where we started. For your information, Itaewon and Hanam-dong are very close. Hanam-dong is the wealthiest area in Seoul. It has recently emerged as a hot place for people in their 20s, and it is visited by as many people as Itaewon. If you walk to the left from here for about 20 minutes, you will come across Hanam-dong Street. I will walk to the right to get to the starting point. I can see Itaewon subway station. It is the station with the most foreign passengers in Seoul subway. I am curious about something. I know that Koreans visit Itaewon because of its foreign atmosphere, but I do not know why foreign tourists come to Itaewon. The foreigners I see here may not be tourists, but residents. We arrived at the intersection. On the left, a woman is talking on the microphone. She is probably a church missionary. There is always someone here talking about church missionary work. Every time I visit Itaewon, I see a missionary at the intersection. This kind of missionary work is generally not viewed favorably in Korea. On the front, you can see an advertisement for a hangover cure. It's a really good spot to advertise. Itaewon is a place where a lot of people drink alcohol. When I see that billboard, I think I'll buy that hangover cure. The model for the advertisement is Haewon from the K-pop group NMIXX. She's a singer who's as funny as a comedian in Korea. She gained popularity among the public on a YouTube comedy channel. As I walked around Itaewon, I noticed that there were a lot of kebab restaurants. It is hard to find kebab dishes in Korea. As far as I know, Itaewon is the only place in Korea with this many kebab restaurants. French foreigners say that they eat kebabs to relieve hangovers. In Korea, they eat gukbap to relieve hangovers. Gukbap is a Korean stew with lots of pork. If you look to the left, you can see that the commercial buildings are empty. In Itaewon, there are many places where merchants who cannot afford the expensive rent are closing down their stores and moving to other places. The trend is to move to Hanam-dong, the neighborhood right next to Itaewon. The building owners do not want to lower the rent because they do not want to lower the value of the building, so the number of empty buildings like this is increasing. In the past, there was an incident in Gyeongridan-gil, which is about a 15-minute walk from here, where the building owners raised the rent because they were greedy and no one visited the place. I think it will not happen, because Itaewon has been a famous tourist destination for a long time, but I do not know what will happen in the future. This is the end of my Itaewon tour video. Thank you for watching the video.